G'day guys, and welcome to another cracking edition of Investing in the US, an Aussie's guide to US real estate. From Los Angeles, I'm your host, Goossens. Good as always to have you with us on the show. As you know, it's my job to explore, dissect, and interview the cream of the crop when it comes to real estate, business, and entrepreneurship here in the United States, so you can make the right investing decisions to create massive amounts of cash flow, long-term wealth, and hopefully it will lead to financial freedom. If you do like this show, please give us a review on iTunes, and you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter by searching Reed Goossens. You can find this show wherever you podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and Google Play. But you can also find these episodes now up on my YouTube channel. Head over to reedgoossens.com, click on the video link, and it'll take you right to the recordings. You can see my ugly mug, and you can see the gorgeous guests that I have on each and every week. All right, enough out of me. Let's get cracking and into today's show. Today on the show, I have the pleasure of speaking with Grant Wise. Grant is a serial entrepreneur and the founder of Real Estate Marketing University, a media training company. Grant is an innovative marketing strategist, unafraid to lead companies in new directions. Grant works with a wide range of clients, from new entrepreneurs just starting out to INC 500 companies working to implement new, modern marketing strategies. Grant's strategies have helped companies reduce their marketing overhead nearly 75%, which allows them for unlimited growth in their business. So without further ado, let's get him out here. G'day, Grant. Welcome to the show. How you doing today, mate?
Hey, brother. Thanks so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Hey, bud. My pleasure. Where are you dialing in from today?
I am at HQ here in Rogers, Arkansas.
Rogers, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. So what time of day is it? You're Central Time, right? So you're
we're Central. So it's about 9:30. Yeah.
9:30 on a Monday morning, up and early, getting into it. You're making it happen, right? Hey?
Yep.
Mate, so we got you on the show today. We want to talk to you a lot about the media and the marketing side of being an entrepreneur, not just in real estate. I guess some of the stuff we're going to talk about today is going to apply to a slew of entrepreneur different ventures. But do you want to rewind the clock a little bit? And before we dive into the nuts and bolts, can you tell our listeners how you made your first ever dollar?
My first dollar. I was actually telling this story just the other day. We were kind of cracking up laughing about it. I think I was 11 or 12 years old, and about 6 to 8 blocks from my house, there was an Aldi's. Mm-hmm. And I would go with my buddy. We would ride our bikes down to Aldi's, and that's a local grocery chain. And to get a shopping cart at Aldi's, you had to put a quarter in the shopping cart, and it would release it so that the person could go shop. Well, what we would do is we would sit out throughout by their cars. And when somebody came out, we would just walk up and say, "Hey, can I help you, unload your groceries?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." And so we would unload their groceries for them. And in most cases, they tipped us. We were just doing it for the quarter. Right. They're like, "Can we keep the quarter that's in the cart?" And they're like, "Yeah, no problem. Thanks so much." But they would give us like $5, $10 for helping them out. And I had a good little thing going there for about a month. Until my mom got to wondering where on earth I was. And one of her friends called and kind of ratted me out. I had a nice little profit business going there, just helping people unload their shopping carts. But that was, thinking back, I think that was the first time I made some money. I got a little creative.
That's awesome. So it sounds like, have you come from a family that taught you to, go out and make a dollar and get it pull up your socks and off the sweat off your own back? I
did. Yeah. I mean, I grew up rather poor, and we just didn't have a choice. And right. So I was out. I just hustled. I was kind of raised on a ranch. A lot of people don't know that about me. I was raised breaking horses and working farm animals and things like that. And every day it was back-breaking work. And I probably got a lot of my work ethic from that, and figured out how to use it in more easy ways. But we didn't have a lot. We had what we needed, but we worked our asses off for it. We'd spend hours and hours and hours every day working for food at night. And we did 100%.
Nice, man. Well, hey, not many people know that I also was into horses back in the day. I broke a few horses back in Australia. So I tell you what, breeds discipline, right? Up at sparrows crack of ass crack of dawn to get the horses fed, to get the cattle fed, all that sort of stuff. It's I wasn't on a farm, but definitely I had a few recreational horses, but it definitely kept the my wife is always like, I go to sleep, but I'm up really early, regardless of what time of day it is, 5:30. And it's just bred from when I was young, because you had to get up and you had to get the chores done before you went to school, right? And that was, it was part and parcel of what
100%.
it is.
I think one of my least favorite memories is chopping ice at 5:36 in the morning when it's 5 degrees outside. But
mate, I never had that, and I'm glad I never had that.
Yeah.
Growing up in Australia is a little bit different. We had the heat of the summer, which was brutal. So
I do not miss hauling hay in 105-degree weather. That's for sure.
So, mate, let's dive into the nuts and bolts of today's show and talk about the space of, real estate and business meets online marketing and media. So I'd like to ask, and I like to ask all my guests, Grant, think of your business as walking into a restaurant, right? We're going to sit down at the restaurant of the Grant Wise business, and I'm perusing the menu. Do you want to walk through some of the menu options that people can use and what your business does to help them increase that online footprint, I guess? And maybe you can also elaborate on some maybe off menu items that people may not know that you have available.
Yeah, so we are a training company, and it's been a large part of what we've done for a long time. One of those non-menu items most people don't know about is we jumped into services about a month ago, where we'll actually implement a lot of what we teach for people that don't have a lot of time, and we usually reserve that for our existing customers, right? The people that we've actually trained that know the process. But we built our company over the last couple of years teaching the real estate industry how to use Facebook ads to sell houses, teaching mortgage professionals, residential real estate agents, investors, title insurance agents. That's our bread and butter. That's what we spend all of our time doing every single day, is research and development, studying new marketing campaigns, new Facebook ad copy strategies, new image graphics strategies, new video strategies, landing pages, email conversion templates. When you look at the entire marketing process, from conception to implementation to conversion, that's what we obsess over. Right. How do I run Facebook ads for my business? What do I say? What kind of pictures do I use? What kind of video should I put out there? If I'm going to use a video, what do I say in my video? Right. What do my landing pages have to say? What should they look like? And I started actually in service back in late 2014, implementing a lot of these strategies for real estate agents. And in December of 2015, launched at the time, it was Modern Agent Mastery. It is Modern Agent Mastery, and that's grown since December 2015 to around 1,300 students. And we just obsessed over teaching real estate agents how to use Facebook ads. And it's just as simple as that. I think that business should be simple. It shouldn't be complicated. And you should do everything in your power to kind of keep with that. And that's all we did. Right. 100%. That's all we did. And through the lines of teaching and implementing and showing people how to go out there and use our strategies to grow, we realized a few more problems that existed. People didn't know how to sell. People didn't know how to close deals. We realized that people were very unorganized. They didn't know how to implement systems and processes to they'd go from working no hours a week to working 80 hours a week and not wanting to work either one, right? And then we realized that so many people are out there spending so much time trying to build a business that they forgot to build a life. And so we would like to bring people back and help them understand that their business exists to support their life, not the other way around. And we spent a lot of time masterminding and educating people in a group fashion on some of those high-end business principles. And one of the biggest issues, and one of probably my favorite projects to date, is we saw that it was taking our customers hours to implement our trainings, which it should, right? It should take time. You should be invested in the process. You should be growing. But I'm talking 6 hours to put up a single landing page and some emails, right? And so we created a platform called Whitly, Witly, and it's a marketing intelligence software. It is the world's first of its kind, and it's something that I absolutely adore. We just took everything that we taught people and we put it into a platform that does it all for them. So what used to take our clients 6 hours, they can now do it in under 10 seconds. They can implement their landing pages. They can implement their squeeze pages, their thank you pages. They can implement a year's worth of email strategies, all just like that. And it's where we're going with that software, and what we want that to do is unbelievable. It's our vision that in a year from now, You could literally pull out your little iPhone and say, hey, Siri, will you put this ad out for me? And that our software would do it. And that's an incredibly powerful software. If you're talking about entrepreneurship, we saw a problem, we fixed it. And, we turned it into a business. And I think that's just the truest essence of what entrepreneurship really is. But those are that's what we do, man. We teach, we educate. We have some softwares to back up a lot of our education, and we very recently have gotten into the lead generation business where we'll actually implement some of the stuff that we teach for our existing students. And we've actually we just launched this week. Actually, we launched it last week, actually, a little bit in beta. We'll actually go through market by market, generate leads, and then we'll sell the leads to agents that want them.
Through the Facebook platform, right?
All through Facebook. Yep.
Got it. So, mate, tell me the importance of why should an entrepreneur be visual online? Why should they be using a company like yourself and developing media strategy to move their business forward in today's age? Like, it's a pretty simple answer, but I want to hear your explanation of it to, help with your underlying business.
It's very important for everybody to understand that you're not in the real estate business. You're not in the investment business. You're not in the mortgage business. You're not in the popsicle business. You're not in the pizza business. You're in the media business.
Right.
And if you aren't generating names, email addresses, and phone numbers of people that you get to talk to every single day to sell your product, then you don't have a business. You have a hobby that might make you even some really good money, but it's not sustainable. When you look at where the world is headed, where society is headed with technology and the advancements that we're making, even myself creating a software that does a lot of the service work for people, that's going to put a lot of people out of business if they aren't building media and developing relationships with that media. Starbucks isn't a coffee company. They're a media company that just so happens to sell coffee.
Right.
Apple's not a computer company. They are a media company that just so happens to sell computers. But because of that media, and if you guys heard anything in my story, I hope you understood the media part of that. Because of the media Apple owns, they can manufacture cars if they want to, right? Because of the media that I went out and attained, right, through business practices, built my email list, built my following, built my name up there, got attention. I went where the attention was and got some of it for myself. I could launch a software company that does, over $250,000 its first hour. I can launch a service business that instantly has customers. I can launch a lead generation company that I've got 100 markets that I can't even get into fast enough. I have a business that's trying to print money I can't even get to fast enough. If you are not building media, you are not building a business.
Right. Interesting. So talk to me about the first step that someone would have to, a new entrepreneur, right? They're coming into this space of real estate. And as we said, let's call it media, because we just define that regardless of what you do, selling popsicles, pizzas, or real estate, you're in media. So break it down for us in terms of what it means to build a media company. And you just hit on it a little bit, which was you created a piece of it for yourself. Now talk to me about how you created that little piece for yourself and what steps and strategies did you use to build the email list, to build the funnel, to build all that sort of great stuff to then get those clients, to get them and then convert them into actual customers.
Yeah, 100%. I think this is a question that's got a few answers that come along with it. But I first and foremost recognized who I wanted to work with. Right. I went out there, and I think it's very important for you, if you're an investor, whoever you might be, you've got to understand who you want to do business with. And that's first and foremost. I knew that I wanted to teach real estate agents how to generate Facebook, how to generate sales through Facebook, how to use Facebook ads to grow their business. All right. So I identified my market. And then I went out and started talking to my market, right? I started gaining followers because I was adding value to the conversation. And I think there's a really fine distinction here between selling and adding value, right? A lot of us sell because we don't have a lot of money in our bank account, and we add value because we're not dependent upon the dollar. And it's really, really difficult. And I know for a lot of entrepreneurs right now, it's really, really difficult to think like, man, I want to add value, but I need some sale. I need some money, man. Like, what is this guy talking?
Right.
But when you add value first, just provide feedback, give people direction, value. Sales is easy. Right? Sales is really easy because in that giving people value, you essentially define yourself as an authority to any marketplace you go into. Thus, the sales process, the closing process is rather easy. And that's all we did is we went out and talked and added value, created trainings around what we knew the agent needed to know. And we identified through insane market research, talking to person after person and market after market, what their pain was, what they were sick of doing. And we just spoke against that. And we knew that every real estate agent in America was sick of cold calling. They were sick of door knocking. They were sick of junk mail, just like every investor in the United States of America is sick of sending junk mail, and they're sick of bandit signs, and they're sick of these old strategies that don't work, right? And all we did was talk against that. We painted a picture of a new opportunity in Facebook ads. And the other thing is, like, we delivered. We deliver on a promise. Don't go out there and make empty promises to people, because you'll get weeded out really, really, really fast. What we taught people worked. It absolutely worked. And all I did is I gave them a place to find me on Facebook. We built our entire company on Facebook, like using Facebook ads, practicing what we preached. Every customer that I have in my business, aside from a referral, is from a Facebook ad. Right. And if they're not from a Facebook ad, well, no, if they're from an email, it came from a Facebook ad, right? Where people opted into marketing campaigns that we put out there, PDFs, downloads, trainings. You could go and see a beautiful example of this right now at thebestads.com, bestads.com. We give people all of our secrets, 100%. I hope that you don't need to hire me to be successful, but I'm here for you if you need me, 100%.
Right. I think that's fantastic that you just hit on something, that giving away your secrets, right? There's been so many years through the 90s into the early 2000s where you went to these gurus, you went to these boot camps, and people are sort of, they spend the first hour just talking absolute, excuse my language, bullshit, BS, and then they spend the last, 20 minutes telling you absolutely nothing and trying to sell you on the next course. And it's just like, and you just keep going around in a circle, and you spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And I always thought when I moved to the States that compared to home back in Aussie, someone that I would pay top dollar, a guru in Australia, was readily available for free at a RIA or in a book that I found here. And the US was a little bit a step ahead of the Aussie market in terms of giving that information for free, which is really, really important. And where I'm going with this is that I wanted to boil it back down to what you just said. You said giving away your information for free. So what types of media platforms are you doing? I think you just hit on it with an ebook and some online training to entice those people to say, hey, this guy adds value, which is what you want, and doesn't actually sell me any crap. Mm-hmm. What are those sort of, what are the three easy step things that people can do right now, right today, about publishing content, getting some videos out there to help people create that value for them, to then they want to come back and do business with them in the future?
Yep. So what, and I'm going to give you guys an example for what I did, and then you could just relate this to your market. But I went out and I knew that what I taught was good. I knew it worked 100%. So I knew that if I gave that information away and somebody actually used it, they'd get results. Mm-hmm. All I did is I gave away 10 of my best strategies, 10 of my best Facebook ad strategies. And you can go to thebestads.com right now and you can find 10 of my best residential and investor strategies right there. And just gave it away, just 100%. Here's how you do the Facebook ad. Here's how you do the landing page. Here's how you do the email strategies. And then, okay, here's 10 ads that work. Here's 10 pieces of ad copy. Here's 10 pictures. Here's 10 landing pages. Here's 10 thank you pages, etc. And so I gave away a webinar, basically like a live training on demand. And one of the things that's worked best for me is writing controversial ad copy. Mm-hmm. And most people don't like what I have to say, right? Because everybody obviously loves controversy. But I say things that most people are not willing to. I just go out there and I say it like it is. I'm very blunt, very to the point. I'm going to tell you, forgive my language, I'm not going to give you a shit sandwich. I'm just going to give you the shit. Like,
yep.
Just here's where you're going. Here's where your industry's headed, and here's where you're headed if you do not make this change. Sure. Because it's true. It's 2017, and you've got a lot of people that have businesses that look like we're still in the 90s.
Right.
And so I go out and I say things like that. I say things that aren't so popular, that are not so popular. But what am I doing? I'm getting attention. Mm-hmm. And I'm getting attention at a lower cost because it's shared so much, whether it's through love or through hate. It's shared so frequently that I'm getting more and more and more attention. And one of the things that I also realized is that the more my ad copy was kind of imperfect, the better it converted. If you go out there and try to write a polished piece, I just want you to know it's not going to convert as well as if you intentionally throw in some grammatical mistakes.
Really? Interesting.
It paints a picture of somebody that's real. behind the Facebook ad machine. Like, yeah, this may be an ad, but this is real. This isn't some company. This is real because of the mistakes, right? And it instantly shifts in our mind. Like, okay, I can read this. This isn't something that's just trying to sell me. Maybe it is, but at least it's a real person. And I sent them to a landing page that asked for their email. They got the hour-long video. After the video, they got asked if they wanted to book a call. Right? Jump on a call with us and we'll teach you some more strategies. And, oh, hey, while we're on the call, if you want to join our program, we'll talk about that too. And, we just had a really, really high success rate with doing that. It's a simple strategy. I think people try and overcomplicate marketing, but what I hope you guys are getting here is that, we built our Facebook page to around 20,000 followers. And you say like, well, that's not really that many, but these are true fans, right? These are true followers that are really paying attention because of what we're saying, because of what we're doing, because of the training that we're getting out there. I'm not going out and buying followers. I'm gaining fans because of my stance, my opinions, my ideas, my stories, those different types of things. And then when we collect that email address, we got 40,000 people that listen to us every single day, right? So one of the things that you win in when you're building media is that it becomes a media that you own, right? I own those email addresses.
Yep.
I can talk to them every day for free. If I have to go out and keep paying Facebook, guess what? Rent's due every day. And if rent's not paid, the media is not delivered. And so and when you're building that brand, building that media, you get that giant list of people that you get to talk to every day. And when you add value and add value and add value and add value and build trust and build trust and build trust and build trust, you get a group of people that will follow you anywhere. And I think that's what's paramount. If you look at a company like Apple, they've got millions of people that'll do whatever they say, right?
They buy whatever they want to sell.
They got millions of people that'll buy an iPhone 8 even before all the bugs are worked out, right?
Right.
And it's just like me with our software. We had a giant group of people that were willing to buy our software like a month or two before it was even finished. Right?
Just because of the love for you and the key person of influence, you're a KPI in those people's eyes, and they are just like they're drinking the Kool-Aid, right? So that they're all on board. That's incredible. And so you said you started with a webinar, which just seems pretty basic. Everyone's got a freaking camera on their.
I started with a book strategy call, and it's actually like the dopiest video I've ever recorded. It was like 6 minutes. It was me sitting on my couch. I had hair then. It was all like flopped over, had glasses, and the sound was awful. Like the sound was horrible, and the video quality sucked. Like I just started where I was at, and that's what everybody's got to understand. Like you just start where you're at, put it out there. But one of the things that I hope you all understood is that I knew the pain. That was important. My message was important. My video quality was not. My message is what got me $1 million. That video did over $2 million in revenue.
Wow.
Which was insane. Blew our minds. Like, what?
Where can I find that video? Because I'd love to check it out.
I think it's still up. It's actually still up at www.modernagentmastery.com. And if you listen to the video, you feel it, right? You're like, I'm speaking right to my client. One person. Right. I identified that one person I wanted to do business with. And I talked to him.
Right. And
and we would just like, hey, book a call right now. And, that worked for a long time. We got $30 applications. We had literally 30, 40, 50 people we could talk to every day. But over time, that strategy became a little played out like marketing campaigns do. And our no-show rates got higher. So we shifted. And then we went to a webinar, which was, hey, here's, everybody's trying to sell you secrets right now. Here are all the best in the world for free. And people opted into that all day long, and they still do. It's still our winning campaign that's done another few $1 million in revenue in the last couple of probably the last 8 to 12 months now. And it's just winning strategy. I think everybody's getting sold something right now, Everybody's getting pitched by this guru that knows this and knows that. And I want people to understand, like, I'm not your guru. I'm not your coach. I'm not your mentor. I'm just a guy that has some incredible strategies that if you implement, you'll get results from. That doesn't make me necessarily a coach. I mean, it doesn't make me your mentor. It doesn't make me whatever, but that's kind of a name that's passed on, I think, because it's a buzzword. Look, I'm just trying to help you get results.
Right.
I wake up every day coming from bankruptcy at age 23, wanting to add value because I've been where a lot of people are. I've been through the depths of hell, and I understand that it's not a very fun place to be. I want everybody that's around me to make a lot of money. I want them to be uber successful, and I want them to go off and do some type of mission-based work that makes the world a better place. And if you can watch one of my trainings and not pay me and go make hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, please be my guest, do it. And I'm being very sincere, like, do it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
If you need our help, we're here. And I think that if everybody came from that place of true value, of true, like, here's something really good, go get results with it, you would understand that those people are going to come knocking and beating your door down because they'll want more of what you have to offer, more of what you have to say, more of your trainings, more of your information.
Yep. I completely love it. And I love the fact that you are wanting to come first and foremost with the advice. Here's everything in the kitchen sink. And if you can figure it out from there, fantastic, go off and all power to you. But if you need us, we're also here as well. Talk to me about the platform of Facebook and how that really is your number one engine or social platform that you're pumping out right now. And how has Facebook changed over the last five years to be really such a powerful lead generator for your business? Or anyone's business, I should say.
Facebook did the exact same thing that I'm telling you guys to do. They went out and built media, right? They got attention.
Yep.
And now they have over 2 billion users. And now they're aggregating more content, more data than anybody in the world, right? And all they've done is they've allowed us to access that data. You're talking about being able to, in a very, very detailed way, target the people that you know you want to do business with. And so it's that simple. I mean, they give you media that you can essentially advertise with, just like any media company does. And they've delivered the best ad product in existence because, I get to market to you based on your likes and your dislikes. I get to very strategically, push content on you that I know that you'll like. And I mean, there's nothing better than that. And we've been in the space now for a few years, and we've just seen it. We've been able to target. We started with residential homeowners or residential real estate agents. Could target people that wanted to buy a home, could target people that wanted to sell a home like this. It's easy. And it still is easy today. It's a little more crowded, so to speak. There's a lot of people jumping on the Facebook engine, right? But if you know who your client is and you know how to strategically target your client, it's still just terribly, terribly simple to go out there and generate leads to sell houses. It's the same for investors. If you know what houses you want to buy, a lot of people don't know this, but you can geo-target the houses that you want to buy in your marketplace. If you want to go out and pull a probate list, you can plug that entire probate list into Facebook and build a custom audience and run ads to it. So all that junk mail that you've been sending, trying to market to people that are on those lists, hey, guess what? You can reduce your advertising cost 90%, and you can still show up in front of those people that are not paying attention to your mailers. What are they paying attention to? This 3x4-inch device that everybody's got in their hands, right? And that's all we did. We just recognized that Facebook's curating all this data and they're letting us access it for free. Basically, all we got to do is pay them to advertise. And that's what we did.
That's awesome. I love the Facebook. I'm not a guru. I'm not any guru, but I'm not an expert by any means on the Facebook advertising, and it's something that I definitely need to work on as in my own business. So, but I'm not a real estate agent. I run an investment company. So how do all these Facebook ads and strategies apply the different types of real estate? Because obviously, being a real estate agent, you define that there's a hurt, right? Yep. But when it comes to more of private investors and stuff like that, trying to attract more capital to do flips, to buy mobile home parks, to buy self-storage, to buy multifamily, how does that work? Because it's a different type of mindset, again, from a Facebook person just scrolling around going, I'm needing to invest some money somehow and I don't know where the hell to put it, right? So how does that apply to these sort of businesses?
It's really not. And the point is, like, everybody's on Facebook. So there's people that you want to invest in your companies. They're sitting there. They're watching. They're scrolling. And you see a lot of the older generations on Facebook, some of the wealthiest people I know, scroll Facebook all day long. Don't ever comment. Don't ever like. Don't ever share. But every time I run into them, they're like, hey, man, I saw you doing this. Saw you doing this. Saw you doing this. Everybody's on Facebook. It's not a question. It's not a question. All I did whenever I, really figured out the offers that worked for Facebook is I took everything that worked for decades on different mediums and I just put it on Facebook.
Right.
I mean, everybody's one of our most successful campaigns is where we provide a list of homes that are available in a marketplace. People have been wanting that list for decades. We used to print it out on a MLS sheet, right? And we would give people a sheet of paper and say, here's all a list of homes. Well, guess what? Now they can just download it right from your Facebook ad.
Right.
From an investment standpoint, I just gave you a probate strategy. Instead of sending out a letter, yellow letter or junk mail piece to somebody that's just entered into probate, bring it digital. That's all I did. Like, that's all you have to do. Mm-hmm. Take the strategies that you're implementing offline and bring them online. You can pretty much package them the same way. You can pretty much write the exact same copy. But now, instead of just blanket marketing or farming or whatever you guys want to call it, you can very strategically target the people that you want to do business with. Right. And I'm using the probate example as it's one that, we get asked for all the time. How do I generate motivated sellers? Any of these strategies, right? We use a lot of, in investing, we use a lot of geo-targeting. We know exactly where our homes that we want to buy are, and we market to them all day long. And if you're sitting there like, how do I bring my business digital? You just simply take what has worked offline and you bring it online. And if from your standpoint, if you are somebody that's looking to generate investors to invest in you, right? Mm-hmm. Your story is one of the most powerful things that you can utilize to grow, right? Telling the story like it is and like it was, branding yourself 100%. And attracting more people, doing deals, talking about doing deals, talking about how far in the black you were on a deal, like seriously, telling the story, telling like this, those flashing checks, that gets people's attention. Right. It really, really does. Right, when you tell the story like it is,
people want to follow you.
Understand, people want to follow that.
Yep.
It's how anybody gets attention. They just tell their story. It's how Grant Cardone got it. It's how Gary Vaynerchuk got it. It's how Tai Lopez got it. It's how all those guys are going to keep it. I mean, it's all they did is they did it every day. They just talked about how they did it every single day. And they're just going to keep going. Your story, building up that, I think in an investing space, telling that story and growing in an organic way, just like you would with paid media or complementing your paid media strategies, is so important.
But I think the biggest thing people listening out there today to this show, understanding what you're trying to say, is that you are creating a media company. You are, and I've said this to a lot of people who want to try and raise capital. They're trying to raise capital for their syndication businesses. You are an educator. You're a conduit between the people who want to invest their money and, multifamily and mobile home parks and whatever it might be. And you need to be providing the education. It's your responsibility to educate the people. Now, if you can give some free PDFs, an ebook, some videos, something that's going to get their attention and keep their attention and love what you do. They tune into this podcast because they love what I do. These are the types of platforms and media we're actually talking about. I didn't want to dive into it, but that's kind of where we're going with this, right? Like, you have to create all these streams, these touches that I like to talk about, that you keep touching your audience, your sphere. People you're going to influence. No, you don't have to be Grant Cardone, millions and millions of people of influence. Yeah, great. You could have just start with 1,000 people. And if you have 1,000 investors that come to you each and every day, which are accredited, you're going to be set up for life.
100%. I think that's another rule that people need to just truly, truly understand. And they look out at these people with millions of followers.
Right.
Like,
you need a portion.
Go read the book. There's a book. It's called 1,000 True Fans. And I encourage you to go read it, because it will help you understand that you don't need to go really wide. You need to go deep. That is all I did. I got 1,200 customers, 1,300 customers today. 1,300, that made me a multimillionaire. Like, there's no more truer thing than you need 1,000 true fans. And those 1,000 true fans will take you where you want to go for life. That's 100% true.
Yeah, love it. Mate, we're coming towards the end of the show, but can you talk to me just briefly, what are some of the major mistakes you see first-time entrepreneurs out there trying to do in terms of social and media marketing that they're trying to do on their own? And maybe you can explain some of the mistakes and how to avoid them moving forward.
I think that so many people are looking at the numbers. So many people are operating from their bank account, and it's not going to win you any business, because desperation. We live in a society that can smell bullshit like nobody's business.
Love it.
Like, if you go out there and pitch and talk about this and this and this and this and why people need you, blah, 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 it's never going to work. Come from a place of value. Like, I guarantee, like, give me 2 weeks. Just every day, every social post you make, be valuable. Give away your best secrets. And then at the end of the second week, ask people if they want to do something. And I could guarantee you, you will get more from that than you will in the last 2 months, 2 years of your social right hooks that you're out there trying to get business with.
Yep.
Be valuable, just 100%. Come from that place. And whether you're running paid advertising or you're growing your business in an organic and a native way, be valuable. And you will get the business that you want to 100%. Stop trying to sell people. I understand you need money. Like, I needed money too, man. Like,
we all need money, right?
I didn't have anything when I started this company. I was bankrupt. I had $25 in my pocket. My wife can attest to this. Sometimes I joke that I think that she's the one that loaned me the $25. I went out and operated from a place of value, and that $25 turned into $1,000 in a week, and that $1,000 turned into a nearly $10 million company in 2.5 years.
That's incredible, man. Well done. Well done. What does the future hold for Grant Wise, both personally and professionally?
Dude, I don't know. I take it day by day. I love this journey so much. Entrepreneurship, I think in its most truest form, is creativity and innovation and artistic, and just taking all that stuff and putting it into business. And if I am sitting there for a week not doing anything, I've created 100 businesses. So if you are ever doing that, please learn to tell yourself no. It'll be one of the best things that you could ever do. Understand that opportunity also comes with opportunity cost.
Right.
I don't know, man. I love what we do now in the training platform that we're building. We've shifted our models just ever so slightly, and I'm going to start producing talent. People that want to build big courses and earn a huge living by teaching people their best secrets. We've developed our platform. Real Estate Marketing University will be somewhat of a really high ticket Udemy or a lynda.com, if that makes any sense. We'll be taking some of the best talent in the world and just turning them into superstars, almost like a music label. It's a very interesting thing, and we're getting ready to launch four new pieces of talent before the year is up, which will take our company from a $10 million a year business to a $50 million a year business. My software company is something that I want to disrupt the world with. That marketing intelligence software, it doesn't exist, and what it does is unreal. And the stuff that we're working on behind the scenes, that's huge. And then if you look at the lead model that we've just instituted, we figured out how to make our money grow by 450% every day. And so that's absolutely something I'm going to be diving into. And I don't know, man. I always said when I was growing up, I wanted to be a stay-at-home father. And I think that we've put in so much work over the last few years in the direction that we're heading. Am I there yet? No. But could I be there in a few years? I think so. And I want to spend a lot of time with my family, and I want to spend a lot of time with my kids. But before I do, I want to make sure that my grandchildren are okay. And so I'm going to just keep working, and I'm going to keep working, whatever that looks like. And I was answering, I think somebody the other day said, "Do you think you'll ever sell this company?" I said, "I don't know. I think if I did, I'd probably take like a month off, and I would come back with one of the best, my best philanthropic efforts in solving some type of high-level crisis. Taking care of children is something that's really important to my wife and I, and doing stuff like that is just really important. Missions work is really important to us, and so I think if I'm not working to profit in some form or fashion, I'm doing something in philanthropy that changes and makes the world a better place."
Mate, I love it. And well done for getting out there and crushing it, but also having an underlying theme or underlying motivation with your mission work and helping children, because I think that's really, really important. And some people get too motivated by the capital. Oh, I want to create a $50 million a year business. I want to create a $100 million a year business, blah, blah, blah. But they forget that it's actually, there's more life than that, right? And being an entrepreneur, doing what you do right now is a stepping stone to get to that place, right?
100%.
To have the financial freedom to go out there and be more valuable to someone who needs it. So well done.
Money is a byproduct of what it can do for you. And that's it. Like, I think people have to stop putting so much weight in developing these making an icon out of money. Like, it's just money. Like, right. Come on. It's just money. Make a lot of it, but do good with a lot of it too. Like,
I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it. Mate, we're coming to the end of the show, but as I always like to ask every single one of my guests on this show to give me their top 5 investing tips. You ready to get into it?
Let's do it.
All right, mate. What's the daily habit you practice to keep on track towards your goals?
Gratitude. I think that if you are not grateful for what you have, what in the hell makes you think you deserve any more of it?
Love it. I love it. Are you writing those gratitude
I do.
down?
I don't write as much as I used to. I used to get in I would sit down before I got my work day started, and I would just write anything that was on my head, anything that was on my heart, I would just write. And I would end the 10-minute, 15-minute session with pages and pages of stuff I was grateful for. It was an everyday thing. And now it's more of a mental practice that I just sit down before I get started, whether I'm reading or studying or whatever I'm doing. I'm absolutely practicing gratitude. I've been humbled, and that's something that I think that people need to understand. If your character or your talent won't take you where your character can't keep you. And, that's the reason I was bankrupt at 23. I wasn't the type of person that deserved the type of life that I had. And I think that really humbled me to a more simple life and being more grateful with what I have. And I do believe that if you're not grateful for what you have, really, why
are you doing
more of it?
Yep.
Why do you think you deserve more money if you're not appreciative of the $5 you got? Like, what are you going to do good with 50? Right?
No, exactly. And I think coming from a place of having to scramble to get to that, as you're saying, getting to your last $25, coming from a place of, not a lot of means. Similar with me, I appreciate $1, right? I see too many kids out there these days. They get to university, they leave university with a degree, and it's the first ever job they've got is after university. It's like, man, I've been working since I was 13 years old. So they don't understand a day of hard work. But that's another topic for another day.
Yeah,
100% being
different podcast.
Different podcast. 100% about being grateful. Love it. Who's the most influential person in your career to date?
I would have to say it was probably my stepfather. There's a couple people that right there that are, right there in the running. But my stepfather taught me from a very young age to respect people, to love people, to work my absolute ass off harder than anybody else. And that if you could do those things, that you would absolutely be rewarded in some form or fashion. And he's a guy that meant a lot to me. He passed away a couple of years back. But the things that he did for me over time, the patience he had with me over time, and the lessons that he taught over time have just laid the foundation. Absolutely.
Love it. And my condolences to you. What is the most influential tool in your real estate business? You're clearly creating a ton of tools for other people to use, but do you have an app? Do you have something that you like to use each and every day that helps you keep on track? Or it could be just as simple as your phone. I've had people say that their cell phone's their most influential tool, but what's yours?
Dude, I think my most influential tool is probably my attitude.
Right.
Which I think is 100% a tool. If your attitude is shit, guess what your results are going to look
100%. Like? No, I completely agree. Attitude is just it helps you get up in the morning, right? And it helps you get up, get going, make you want to go and achieve that next thing. What's been the biggest failure to date in your career, and what did you learn from that failure?
My biggest failure was probably my first 6 failed companies that led to bankruptcy by the age of 23. I got started when I was really, really young. I was 19 when I started down this business path. And I just went out there. I was really, really successful, and boom, I crashed, fell on my face. And I think that one of the greatest lessons I ever learned was that the pride that I had in each and every situation. And I was walking through and living a very entitled, victimized life. And I know that's kind of odd to hear, but it's 100% true. And that's, I think a lot of entrepreneurs, especially young entrepreneurs, are walking around with a chip on their shoulder like they deserve what they've got. You got to work your ass off for everything. And you got to work your ass off even harder to keep everything. And so I think that, letting go of pride, letting go of the pride that you have around anything and just working your ass off, doing the work. I think that every guru in America right now could try and sell you some tool. But at the end of the day, I realized that if I just put my head down and worked, and if that's all, I didn't think about working, I didn't scroll Facebook about work, I didn't, go out and talk about work, I just worked, that success was the inevitable result. And that's what I learned coming out of those business failures, is that, I learned a lot of valuable lessons. I got over myself and matured, and instantly was thrown into, I say instantly, it took years, but I worked for 2 years there between the ages of 21 to 23, I believe. I didn't have a paycheck, I didn't have money, I didn't have a car, I didn't have a house, I didn't have anything. Some of them didn't have food, and I just worked. I grinded it out. I didn't understand the whole job mentality, go change my time for money. There was just a lot of mistakes that I made, but I grinded it out. I worked, and just got over myself, humbled myself, and realized that I'm not the smartest person in the room, and I don't want to be. I want to walk into every situation every single day, learning something new that's going to take and propel me. And if you just do one thing every day that makes you a better human being, makes you a better person. Everything else is a byproduct of that. Business is math and personal development. Be a good person and understand some basic mathematical principles, and you will be super, super successful.
What were those 6 businesses, mate, that you started between the ages of 19 and 21?
I grew up in real estate and development. My mother, father, stepmother, stepfather, step-grandfather, grandfather, everybody was in real estate and development. And I got started in construction and took some heavy, heavy losses on projects, and one thing led to another, and it just totally
snowballed.
100%. Yep. Another thing is, like, I tried to start 6 companies at once. Like, it's the dumbest thing you could possibly ever do, which is why I do one thing every day, and that's teach real estate industry, the real estate industry, how to use Facebook, right?
Right.
I really simplified my models and stopped trying to do so much.
I think it's so true. We all get the shiny object syndrome as entrepreneurs, right? We always like, ooh, like I help some of my clients start their first little book, right? And they haven't even published their first one, but they're already halfway written through book number 2. And it's like, guys, finish the first one, like, come on, like, let's get this thing out there. You're going to create some value. It goes back to your value thing.
So many people make that mistake even after the fact. I see so many people that could be in my shoes today, but they made money with the product and they're like, oh, that's cool, I'm going to go do it again. When you find an ATM machine, when you find the gold mine, that's not when you stop digging. Like that, you mine that thing until the gold is gone. And that's absolutely what business owners should do. And if you look at some of the most historical businessmen of our time, that's all they did. They built companies. They built one company. They mined it, and when the gold was gone, they figured out how to repackage it and create their own mines. Like it's not that difficult.
It's exactly what you're doing right now with your company. You started with your Facebook stuff, but now you're morphing into a software company, right? That wouldn't have happened without you starting and being open to the opportunities that create an ecosystem for your business, and that's very, very important in a brand accelerator. An ecosystem is very, very important to create continued wealth, and so it just keeps coming around and around and around. Clients, investors, more ideas that can keep feeding to the funnel. So I love it, man. I wish I had another hour with you, but I know you do have to run. So where can people reach you to continue the conversation?
Dude, hit me up on my website. It's www.likegrantwise.com, LIKE grantwise.com. There you can connect with me. You can hit me up on my social platforms. You can research my other companies and my other ventures. We're about to launch a brand new course, Modern Investing Mastery, which teaches investors how to find deals through Facebook. And you can get all of that information on my personal website. So check me out there. Reach out to me. Hit me up, ask me questions. I want to engage with you guys. And I thank you so much, my man, for having me on today.
Hey, dude, I want to just quickly summarize some of the incredible gold nuggets and some cracking advice that I got out of today. I think the first and foremost is that don't be afraid to create value and give away the value to your clients. It's a thing. We live in the world of 2017. Don't be afraid of doing that. You're building a media empire in the case of real estate business, and don't think you're building anything but that. And it's about an educational platform to help attract more investors in an ecosystem. And the last one is where I think what you hit on just before is that 1 inch wide, but a mile deep of your niche, and don't be too scatterbrained with other things. Mine it until it's empty. And I'm sure along the way, like you've experienced, there's going to be other business opportunities to go back to create that ecosystem. Did I leave anything out?
No, man. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for dropping by. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll catch up soon. Well, there you have it. Another cracking episode, jam-packed with some awesome investing advice and actionable steps. There were some great takeaway gold nuggets. Please jump on my website at rsmpropertygroup.com. Click on the podcast tab to make sure you click on all the links from Grant Wise. I want to thank you guys for taking some time out of your day to tune in, to continue to grow your real estate investing knowledge, because that's what we're all about here on this show, to continue to grow your financial IQ. We're going to do this all again next week, so take care, be safe, and remember, happy investing.